George Russell won a thrilling Austrian Grand Prix yesterday after being fortunate enough to benefit from the collision of the two leading drivers, being Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. George Russell, who was running third at the time, finished ahead of Carlos Sainz, or rather his Oscar Piastri, and Carlos Sainz to run off the podium. The race pretty much started normally, if you count normal seeing Max speed off into the distance and everybody else fighting for a server left, and of course forgetting about Checo Perez. Then that's what I call normal, and that's what happened. The only pretty much action that happened early on was Mercedes duo of George Russell and Hamilton fighting for position, which Russell eventually won and stayed there. And of course the ever exciting duo of Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon in the Alpines, with the usual friendly radio gestures between them. Then the second round of pit stops came by around lap 52, and Max Verstappen's was horrible. The right rear, or rather rear left tire, well, it was slow to coming in or out, and of course costing Max Verstappen a 6.5 second pit stop, meaning that his lead, which was around 6.7 at the time, was cut down to less than 2 after the pit stops. Norris was soon behind Max and made several attempts to take the lead, especially around turn 4 leading to the third DRS zone, and of course Max was being Max, defending as you know Max does, and Norris also incurring a 5-second penalty for track excursions, still trying to fight for the lead, which as time went on led to this.
So Max went to the middle and then veered a little bit towards the outside. 6 of one of half a dozen of another. I mean, Max probably squeezed him a little bit to the outside. Then he was not going to let him through, was he? Max was just watching that McLaren, and Lando saw the damage, but pit lane is now closed. So here we go. Lando goes up the outside, that's fair enough, but actually, you know what? Max veered left towards him, didn't he? We'll see it from different angles, but here we go. Yeah, that's Max squeezing him out. I think Max will have to take the blame for that one, in my view.
Yeah, now this led to both punctures in both cars, rather, with Max and both Lando making it to the pits, but Lando suffered too much damage and was probably too demoralized, retired. Max returning to the track and ending up finishing 5th. So that left the door open for George Russell to win the Austrian Grand Prix, finally put a smile on Toto's face, his second of his career, not smile, I mean George's win, and first in a while for Mercedes. Piastri, unlucky on Saturday for the deleted lap time, probably would have won in this case, and a good podium point scoring position for Carlos Sainz. Lewis Hamilton was 4th after suffering damage to his car and of course incurring a 5-second penalty for crossing the line at pit lane entry. And Max, after his issue with Lando Norris, came back and finished 5th, still extended his championship by 10 points somehow this weekend. And Nico Hülkenberg, great weekend for Haas, finished 6th and 8th, great points haul in their fight with Alpine and RB. Checo Perez, whatever. And of course Daniel Ricciardo finishing 9th, another good scoring position, and of course recent improvement, to be honest, especially since Canada. And the last point scoring position, Pierre Gasly, scoring a good point for Alpine, and once again highlighting their good recent upturn form in 10th. Leclerc in the second Ferrari had a miserable afternoon, suffering damage to his front wing and having 30 pit stops during the race, but somehow managed to finish 11th amidst other the chaos. Ocon, second of the Alpines, couldn't quite actually make it to 10th, well, but yeah, I wouldn't be complaining about the performance of that Alpine lately. Stroll once again highlighting the miserable form Aston Martin has had, especially since Imola when they brought their upgrades. They've just gone backwards or just maybe stuck in the same place and everybody else has moved forwards. Tsunoda once again behind his teammate lately, but still not quite sure where that RB stands, and I still think the bit disappointed considering the upgrades they brought to the races lately. Behind him was Albert Albon, another anonymous weekend, but I expected Williams to perform good considering it's a high-speed track and they've got lower drag than most. Followed by Bottas in 16th and Joe in 17th, once again saw that at the back. Alonso compounding another miserable weekend for Aston Martin and for him. And of course Mr. Reliable, Mr. Logan Sargent, but actually I meant to say, who's that guy? Latifi, yeah. Latifi 2.0, Logan Sargent finished 19th. And of course, Lando Norris being the only one who retired after his issue with Verstappen, finishing 20th. Great win for Mercedes and George. Once more, shows you have to be in the right place to benefit some. Anyway, let me know what you think, especially with that crash between Max and Lando. And of course, please like and subscribe, and remember to start your engines.